Amazing. Joining me in the studio to push this conversation forward is a fellow of the Nigerian Computer Society and an executive director of Center for Cyber Awareness and Development. He is also the vice president of the Nigerian Internet Group, Dr. Agabi. Welcome to Lens on Africa.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
You know, when you say doctor, I'm expecting to see, beards, old gray beards and big glasses. And it's good to see a doctor that's different. Yeah. All right. Also joining us from via Zoom from the United Kingdom is a member of the Open Web Application Open Web Application Security Project and pioneer member of president of the Cybersecurity Expert Association of Nigeria. He's a senior leader of IT information and network security, cybersecurity, and cloud computing with over 20 years of experience. Mr. Adetokunbo Shoyinka, welcome to Lens on Africa.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Mr. Adetokunbo, I'm going to start with you. What exactly is the internet and how does it work? I switch on my phone, something is working. Next time I saw the network is down, the internet is down. What's the internet and how does it work?
Well, the internet is a collection of servers, systems, and networks that are interconnected and allow the communication that we so-called enjoy. The internet has its own language, which is a border gateway protocol, which allows the communication. So the magic happens when you go online and you want to do shopping or you want to go on the social media network, behind the scenes. But behind the scenes, all your communication, all the traffic, all the protocols interconnecting, and the routing that happens, that's transparent to the user. The user is unaware. You just click on a button and something happens. i.e. a page loads with the communication I'm having with yourself based in here and you're based in Nigeria. So we're enjoying this connectivity.
Interesting. And that's a very simple way to put it, non-technical as possible. I'm sure you have a far more complicated way. Thank you for sparing us some of the professional jargon. Now I'm going to be talking with Dr. Agabi. Dr. Agabi, we understand the internet. We see what he's done to our lives. I'm going to start with a question. We see the data talking about Africa's and Nigeria's situation. 24.4% have access to the internet. That is disturbing and staggering. How is that even possible in the year 2022?
In the year 2022 to upload, to increase that number, is that what you're talking, the percentage?
No, how is it, how can we be that low in 2022?
Okay, in 2022,
yes.
Okay. For me, it's not a big shock. Because if you take a look at some of the things that are happening within our environment, for instance, insecurity, and then what we need to have access to the internet. It's not just having access to the internet, but staying on the net. That is economic capacity. Because you can just log on the internet and you don't have money to stay or your data to stay, so you stay off. But staying on the internet, in some places, is becoming a right, a human right to many people, like Sweden and all of that. So the reason is that low, is due to insecurity and economic, issues. That is affordability. And the internet presence in some other countries. The capacity is in Lagos. So we have, Main One, we have Glone One, all of them, they are all in Lagos. But taking that capacity from Lagos to Maiduguri, taking it to Rivers State.
I understand.
That is where the issue is. That is the last mile service. That is where the issues are. It's not like the internet is not available.
Not available in
it is available. And then if you move from that cable availability to the what we call the phone availability, for instance, and all of that, and all that, mobile data and all of that, it is much more available. But the issue still remains economic capacity to stay on the net. So we have over 70 million, smartphones in Nigeria. That means 70 million that are ready, internet ready,
yeah.
that are internet ready. So that is a huge, advantage.
Yeah.
So if you take a look at the population of Lagos, about 25 million. Almost 90% of them are internet ready, have smartphones.
What is the accessibility?
So internet ready, yes.
Okay, so Mr. Detukumba, I'm going to talk to you about this matter. If this is such, I mean, the internet governs practically everything: education, science, commerce, business, health even. It governs and is a gatekeeper for most parts of our lives. Why is it not a major priority in Africa, and what can be done about it?
That would be a number of, I would say, from a leadership perspective, to answer this question. It's a complex question, but I'll try and answer it. How do we prioritize internet access given this day and age where there's a lot of dependencies? Leadership plays a huge role in that. Just like you rightly said, it's less than a third of Africa's population of 1.2 billion has internet access. So the leaders need to prioritize internet access, internet penetration as good for the economy, good for education, good for health, good for all the sectors, good for development of Africa. But I think one of the key ingredients of that is having the right investment. The World Bank suggests that Africa needs about $100 billion to be able to draw of investment, to be able to turn this corner of being behind with internet access. So we're behind with the internet penetration. We are ahead as far as mobile mobile communication is. We're probably like 600 million, which is about 50%. But the internet should not be based on using mobile devices. You should have internet penetration as separate. And we are below average. We're about 36.5%.
Sorry, could you explain that better? It should not be, as mobile usage, but internet penetration. Please explain.
Right. So internet penetration is from the service providers.
Okay.
So we should be able to. I should be able to have a broadband connectivity as opposed to what my mobile data network is giving me.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a separation there.
Okay. All right. Please continue before I interrupted you.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So in terms of getting us to where we need to be, we need investment, just like I was saying.
Okay.
I was talking about the investment that is required. We need more investment to be able to drive the innovation, to be able to leverage technologies like Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics.
Yes.
Telemedicine
and many other things.
Yeah, exactly. So that will help drive this forward. Now, I think over the period where we've had the pandemic, there's been more investment, so we've seen an increased investment.
Yes.
But the investment still is not quite where it should be.
Okay.
So this will drive the economic capacity, which the other speaker was talking about. This is empowering the government to have that capacity to understand. They need to understand, maybe they don't understand, but they need to understand the advantages of having internet penetration, because you're creating an environment where businesses investment can be attracted. That would drive commerce, your GDP would increase. There's a lot of dependencies. We want to move to digital economy. We can't move to digital economy
without broadband internet.
Being in a without broadband internet.
All right.
We're kind of like at the early stages.
Okay. I'll get back to you in just a minute.
yeah.
Okay. Dr. Agabi, on this particular issue, what's your take on it? What is it going to take to persuade the government to actually do more and take this like an emergency or somewhat? The world is leaving us behind again. Many people are getting educated over the internet in other places at a very faster pace. Telemedicine is helping millions of people across the globe. They're getting better access to health. They are getting better access to education, better access to information and finance. And Africa is being left behind again. What's it going to take to persuade African governments?
Africa is being left behind.
Okay.
He's in UK,
Yeah.
I'm in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So what is the population of the UK? What's the population of Nigeria?
Yes, but at the
So
end,
I don't think Africa is, when you talk about broadband, there's a broadband policy that states, that at least 50%, should be reached, by 2023.
Yeah.
Where are we right now? We are almost surpassing, that threshold as set by the broadband policy, that it through the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy.
Yes.
Okay.
But you mentioned something which is now, we've set that threshold. We're getting about their 50%. But how many of that 50% is able to stay, not just connect, is able to stay on sustainably?
That is where I'm going now.
Okay.
So when he talked about access, and connectivity, also the role of government, is to ensure that broadband is ubiquitous.
Okay.
So in such a way that everyone can have access and everyone can use it.
Okay.
And if you are able to use it, what do you use it for?
Okay.
Okay. So those are some of the contents that we should be looking at. The internet, for me, it is available. Okay. If you also take a look at the usage in Nigeria right now, and look at what Facebook is doing, look at what Google is doing. They are investing to ensure, to see that internet is available on the continent of Africa.
Yes, they are.
They are really heavily investing. Okay, so those are some of the issues you should be looking at. Okay. And that is giving us skills. There's what is called convergence of skills and knowledge.
Yeah.
Because of the internet, there's convergence of skills and knowledge and way of doing business and all that. You hardly, even in the profession where you belong, you hardly can say, I'm a cameraman, I'm just a cameraman.
Yeah.
Today, you can be a cameraman and editor because your phone says so. Your phone is able to record and is able to edit, is able to take your audio. Are you getting it?
I think I am, but push it a little further. So I'll be sure we're on the same page.
Exactly. So when you say, look at the whole news of convergence.
Yes.
Okay? Look at what the fintech industry is doing to the conventional banks.
Yes.
Okay, so because of the convergence of knowledge, activities, and skills, so you find out that little organizations are able to take on bigger organizations. Okay. And then they hook them by their throat. This is what, when I use the phone is also your camera. It's a camera.
Yes, the phone is a camera as well.
It's a camera, okay? That. And then that same phone is also a multimedia equipment.
Yes.
That same phone is a telecoms equipment.
Okay, I'm going to get. I think I'm going to get back at you on this.
Yes.
Let me just talk to Mr. Adesokunbo.
No, before you reach him, he's a cybersecurity expert.
Yes.
I know him very well. We were together last week at the first, cybersecurity awards in Lagos.
Yeah.
So I was one of those who presented awards, at the event.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what they are doing, but the availability of internet in Nigeria, we should be looking at what do we do with the internet that is available.
All right, so that's a question I'm going to put across to you, sir. Mr. Adesokunbo, he's talking about what do we do with the internet available. I'm going to add, how can we make people push more in that perspective and to do more positive things with it, especially for young people, other than, Instagram, Facebook, having fun, laughing and watching skits. What can be done to ensure that the internet becomes a more productive tool for the African population? And you can sign out with that.
Right, so I would turn the question on its head, to be honest, because I think it's not about the accessibility. I think it's more about accessibility. And I think that is Nigeria, we've got 200 million odd people. But if we want to look at the availability that the speaker is talking about, is that accessible? Is the question. For us to be able to educate ourselves, to do banking, to have access, to do shopping, all these things that we rely on the internet to do, if we don't have access, the availability, in my opinion, does not count. In terms of the question around young people, well, that's something that we need to also look at and try and police, even though we can't. The internet is a hub of activity, really, where young people can go and educate themselves. They can contact, they can engage and connect with their friends. There's a lot of avenues for them there. I think with the right guidance, and this is what Cybersecurity Experts Association do during this month of cybersecurity awareness, where we go out there and we talk to schools, secondary schools, higher institution schools about being safe online, be responsible online, to take responsibility on what you do online. Your digital life is just like your physical life, so we educate them on various ramifications and impacts that can come back and impact them. They suffer from cyberbullying, they suffer from cyber stalking, they suffer all sorts of cyber-based
issues.
And in terms of, and I've not even talked about cyber crime, which is very huge.
It's a huge matter.
So it's about awareness, and this is what my organization, Cybersecurity Experts, stand for, in pushing out that information, to engage and educate and enlighten people. And we have done that for many years, and we keep on doing that to create that positivity, awareness, and knowledge of being responsible when you're on the internet. This is what we stand for.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Adetukumbo. And we look forward to having you on the show again and pushing this conversation a little further, if I might add.
Thank you very much. Look forward to meeting you again. Thanks. Yes. Bye.
Bye then. So Dr. Gabi, I'm going to ask, a little forward on the issue of the safety of the internet space, which is it's a very major issue. So if we could round up with that, a lot of things can happen on the internet. So is the internet an evil tool? Is it a good tool? Or is it just the human condition? And if it is, what can we do, as I mentioned to him, to make the internet space more productive for our people without excessively policing it, as we're fond of doing in this part of the world?
You are safe on the internet as what you do off the internet.
Okay.
Because if you do certain things that expose you to the internet, you are not safe. A lot of us, expose our children. That is, for me, yes, it's not a right that you should expose your child. The internet does not forget. That is a child abuse, So there are certain things that the government should quickly do.
Such as?
You have to find a way to regulate your cyberspace.
Okay.
Yes, to have what I call, it's a cyber culture that is safe.
Cyber culture,
yes.
Safe cyber culture.
Yes, a good, safe and cyber culture. We have to have that. We love Dubai. We love the Asia countries. We love what do you call it? We love China. We love some of these Asia countries. Okay, the internet does not give you. It gives you what we call the internet culture, a different kind of culture. But if you see the essence of .ng, .uk, .this, .that is to delineate, to still tell you that within the cyberspace,
you still have a culture of your own.
So essentially, you're saying that
Yes.
in Nigeria,
In
Africa,
Nigeria,
we need to own our
We
cyberspace.
want to own our cyberspace, develop our cyber culture, and
culture.
insist on the kind of content, that our children should consume.
Access and consume. Dr.
Because
Gabi,
if you don't, by tomorrow, the same cyberspace will consume you.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Dr. Gabi, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah,
Two things you said, to regulate it, and
Yes.
I must add to
Yes.
regulate it in a fair way. That's a topic we need to talk about as a topic of its own, regulation
Absolutely.
of
Yes.
the internet in
Yes.
such a way that there is no government
Yes.
overreach, but
Regulation
also in
and
such a way,
responsibility, yes.
regulation and responsibility,
Responsibility,
precisely
yes,
so.
yes.
It's been fascinating. I think we just scratched the surface.
Yeah,
Hopefully
we have
we'll
just
see
scratched the
again
surface.
and we'll dwell on
Yes.
this issue of
Absolutely.
regulation and
Very much
cyber
allowed.
culture.
Thank
It's
you
been
very much.
fantastic having you. Pleasure.
Meet you.
Thank you, Dan. All right, then. So, my guests have been Mr. Bayero Agabi and Adetokunbo Shoinka. They've been talking with us here on the show.